Hello, and welcome. This is Helena Gavrielov's book, Another Way for Tarot de Marseille. It's one of the few books on the Marseille deck explicitly that has been written in the last few years. So since it's available on the market, and really a pretty good introduction to the Marseille Tarot, though, as the title suggests, coming from a very different direction than what you're going to see in most decks, this book's a pretty good resource if you're looking to get started with the Marseille cards. Now, I will say that it's pretty obvious that this is a self-published book. You'll notice that there really aren't any pictures. It's organized just in block paragraphs. And Gavrielov is very clear in her introduction that it took her a lot of courage, a lot of willpower to write a book in English. This is not her first language. So what you're going to find in here is a pretty clear representation of Gavrielov's methods, though it could certainly use a little more editing. There are typos in this book. There are layout issues that a more settled publisher would have smoothed out early on. But that being said ahead of time, if I were going to write a book in a language that was not the one I'd been speaking my whole life, it probably would have taken me more time than it took her, and I doubt that I would be as clear with my words and ideas as she has been. So, despite what may appear to be a small amount of messiness in the final product, it still gets the job done, and it's really very impressive that Gavrielov went through with this and brought this project to completion. Now, as for the structure of the book, she's going to begin with basics about the Marseille Tarot, some ideas on tarot history, where it all came from, the structure of the deck. She talks about the different colors that you're going to find on the cards and how to read the colors as far as meanings go. A lot of different associations with the suits, times of day, seasons, speed of action, masculinity and femininity. So she starts out offering a lot of different interpretive tools for a reader to bring to the symbols in the deck. Gavrielov is not invested in thinking about the deck as a complete system of philosophy. For her, this is really about divination. And there is a thread of European card divination thinking that's been around for a very long time. It's an old tradition that you're going to get a strong sense of in this book. The cards are not so much about teaching lessons in the way that the deck is constructed, but we can find lessons in the cards based on the way that we associate with them, the way that we interpret them, and the way that they lay on the table. It's almost as if the cards have a meaning for you to tease out of them, but that meaning doesn't matter until the cards on the table in a spread. She's not really focused very much on card meditation in this book, though she does talk a lot about how the energies of the cards have personally impacted her. So as she goes into every one of the trump cards, she'll have a big paragraph on the meaning in general, some thoughts on the dark side of the card, negative meanings. If you identify with this card, traits that may bother other people about you. So there's this strong sense of perspectives in the way that a card's energy is presented. It's good in some circumstances, it could be bothersome in other circumstances. It really depends on the situation and how that energy is manifesting. Another thing that you're going to find as a strong theme in the European style of reading is that sometimes things are good, sometimes they're bad. It's not as if a card in itself is good or bad. It just depends on where it is and whether that energy is going to be helpful to the situation as a whole. She gives healing advice from each card, how the energy of that card can help you come to wholeness when it is appropriate. She also will tell a little story about each card, as I said, related to her personal experience. The book very much gets you into her story, why she has taken on the role of a professional diviner and card reader, as well as a lot of the other things that have happened in her life. Struggles with finding a long-term home, challenges with partners, challenges with her life as an artist. You really get to know the writer as she goes through the cards and describes her personal relationship with them. And I think that that is very helpful, very important, not just to give you examples of how to connect with the cards and what they may mean to you, but also as a way to understand where she is coming from, what kind of person she is, what her concerns have been as she has used the cards in her own life. She then gives interpretations for the most common types of readings, so relationships and work. She definitely gives a sense that she has been reading professionally for a long time, and she knows the themes and pacing that come up in readings and how she tends to handle them. Getting a sense of how she has stabilized her professional persona is a really helpful facet of this book for anyone who would like to become a regular reader, especially for strangers. For each card, she gives an answer to yes or no questions, so whether it's a yes card or a no card. I find that to be a little questionable just because the nature of the yes or no question may have a bearing on whether a card is positive or negative as a response, but that's just my method. I'm not here to say that anything in Gavrielov's book is wrong. She definitely has a different way of looking at the decks and the cards than I do, and I think that's great. We all need to get these ideas on the table to see how they function practically when we are giving advice as readers. We're all going to attract people who are looking for different things, who need different language, different story, a different way of being handled and approached in readings. They're going to connect with people more successfully. The hope is always that people are drawn to the reader that can give them exactly the message they need in just the way that they need it. When she gets into the pip cards, she presents a pretty unique way of thinking about the numbers. So she does discuss it through numerology, just kind of giving you a rundown on what the numbers have meant in her traditions. But then she talks about a planetary system of interpreting the number cards. So she associates every number with a different planet or planetary body within this solar system. She says, look, the constellations, everything that is far away from us, it's really hard for me to buy into the idea that those distant bodies are affecting our lives. But forever, people have said that the planets in this solar system are affecting our lives. And Gavrielov likes that idea. She is behind it. So not only does she associate the numbers with various planets and their energies, as those have been traditionally interpreted, but she also talks about deities that are associated with those planets and their energy, and ways that you might incorporate discussions and stories about mythology, about the way that these gods interact in our lives, and how that could be relevant in a reading. So if you're looking for a method that gets you more into those traditional mythological stories and offers you a way to access a lot of different mythologies in the same reading, then Gavrielov's methods may hold some water for you and help you to achieve that goal. The way that she talks about the court cards is also a little different from the way that I do it. Generally, when you see a discussion of the court personalities, they trend toward neutral-ish. The hope is that every card could have a positive meaning, could have a negative meaning, and usually in American books, you're going to see the idea or phrase that yes, it could be a person, but it could also be the general energy of the card. Gavrielov, using more traditional European methods, is far more focused on the idea that when the court cards emerge in a spread, they really do mean a particular person. And which court card it is going to tell you what kind of person that is and whether they're good or bad for you. The general sense that she offers in the book is that characters from the suits of swords and coins can be neutral. They may be good for you, may be bad, depending on the situation and their motivation. Characters from the suit of cups tend to be healing and positive, beneficial for you. Characters in the suit of wands are looking to give you a hard time. They could be cruel, they could be stingy. They are not out with your best interest in mind. So when they come up, there's somebody who is working against you. And the revelation of the characters, the organizations that may be persecuting a person in secret, that theme comes up a lot in the European style of reading. The idea that there may be a hidden enemy or a person who really wants to take advantage of you and isn't letting that on, that a reading could reveal to you so that you can figure out how to deal with it. Not my focus when I'm reading for somebody. It comes up every now and then, but it's rare because I'm not looking for it. In this method of reading, particularly if you find cards from the Court of Wands in your spread, Gavrielov's going to say somebody's out to get you. Who is it that you are in conflict with that may be trying to best you right now? And then she does go through every one of the pip cards individually and gives a much shorter rundown, generally a page and a half, that answers most of the questions that she answered in the trumps, but without nearly as much detail and expansiveness in the way that those meanings are teased out. So if you're looking for a book that is more conversational, in which the author really puts herself forward and presents her personality as a feature of the book. Another way for Tarot de Marseille is a great introduction to the old world traditions that people are still using as they are interacting with the Marseille deck, generally in Europe, the Middle East, Northern Africa, other places where the Marseille deck is widely available. Thank you so very much for listening. If you are looking for a regular reader who can help you out both at big moments in your life that create the linchpins of decisions, also when you're feeling stressed about something and need clear methods to get through it, check out my Patreon. Please sign up for my reading subscription service. Or if you are currently developing your own sense of spirituality, you are exploring traditional methods, ways of honoring the spirits around you, hoping to get in better contact with your ancestors and get a better sense of what your unique purpose is, please contact me through my website or send me a personal message, helping folks to figure out the next steps on their journey, the correct rituals and meditation methods that are going to move them forward and help them develop is a main part of my quest. So I hope that if you're looking for that kind of thing, that I can give you some assistance. Thank you again. Have a fabulous day and take care.